welcome back to the channel. We are going to resplint my broken hand while I talk about some of the future of this channel, because I do appreciate that I still have subscribers, considering how inconsistent my content is. I know some people followed me because they want to see horror content. Some people followed me because they want to see neurodivergent content, and I really haven't niched down, so to speak. Mostly because I just want to be able to talk about what I want to talk about, and I don't want to be pressured into talking about anything else. But the other thing is something I've realized, which is something that contributed to my lack of consistent content, was I had stopped doing my content for the right reasons. I lost sight of why I wanted to be a content creator in the first place. I don't want to be a content creator because I want to be famous. I don't want to be a content creator because I want to be well known. Okay, the idea of being responsible for a following just terrifies the shit out of me. And that's not my goal. And it seems like that is the goal on social media like TikTok and Instagram, is, oh, I'm so popular, look at how many followers I have, as opposed to my content speaks for itself, and I don't need followers to confirm that I know what I'm talking about, or that, I'm having fun, or, etc., etc. Essentially, if you watch my videos early in the channel, you can see I was clearly doing it for myself because it was fun for me to make videos. And, the reason why I stopped being able to create is because I stopped thinking about creating for myself. And I got caught up in creating for subscribers or followers or, what have you, listeners on my podcast. And, instead of creating because I had something to say and I have a platform to say it, and hopefully it will resonate with one or two people. And if it doesn't make it to the masses or go viral or, whatever, that doesn't matter anymore. So, finally getting out of that mindset, I think, will help significantly with my content. The other thing is having to re-splint my hand after not needing my splint because I wasn't working all week. It has been not fun. But it has been this broken hand that has given me the clarity that I've needed to, make the changes I need, to my social media presence and to my YouTube channel. But yeah, so just remembering why I started doing this in the first place. And then I saw this video on TikTok. It randomly showed up in my feed, which, I really feel like TikTok is even worse or crazier with this than Facebook ever was. Because I'll be talking about an issue or struggling with something, and how hard it is for me to struggle alone. And then the next thing you freaking know, it's in all over my FYP on TikTok. you're not alone. You are worth it. You are enough, etc., etc. And it's just like, holy Jesus, like, wow. How does the world know that that's what I needed to, how does TikTok know that that's what I needed to hear? Like, I'm sure it has something to do with, reading or analyzing my search engine or whatever, things that I search for. But, like, here's the thing. I don't search for things on TikTok. And I don't have my Google attached to my TikTok either, like, associated with my TikTok. So it's like, I don't know, it's just one of those things where this video, and I'm sure you've had those experiences where you're like in this bad headspace, suddenly a video comes up and all of a sudden it's like you feel seen and you feel heard, and like, I don't know, for all the times that's happened to me on this app, this time it was like, it was something completely different. Just like, there we go. Because I do have to work this afternoon. Unfortunately, I cannot afford to take time off. As long as all I need is a cast. But yeah, so I'm gonna be posting a lot more. It might still be inconsistent, but my point for now for this channel is going to be finding myself again. And for me, that means a lot of throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. And I'm hoping that the things that I've set up for you all are the things that stick, because I do really want to keep talking about horror on this channel, because it is my favorite genre. And not only is it my favorite genre, but I also feel like it is a genre that is contributes more to pop culture than people realize. And I just heard an interesting thing about Jamie Lee Curtis, and how she feels about horror movie fans and horror movies in general. That really makes me want to keep having this conversation about, the future of horror conversations that I've started, that we've talked about with Jordan Peele, and, how do we avoid perpetuating ableism through certain genres without completely squashing those genres, those subgenres, that kind of thing. And I think those are issues that I really want to keep talking about, because regardless of listenership or how many subscribers I have, I really feel strongly about, for lack of a better phrase, I really feel strongly about queer people gatekeeping horror, 100%. So I want to address that, and I want to make sure that isn't lost in this whole me trying to rediscover myself. Because I've noticed, like, I am not ashamed of the video that I did about the Deptford wives. Like, legitimately, they deserve all the bullying they get. Like, and I want to keep having conversations about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, because stuff keeps coming up that is, that makes it necessary for us to keep talking about it. the point is to have those conversations now in a way that means something to me, instead of, the way that was hijacked by all of these awful people over the summer during the trial. Like, these people got 3 of my accounts permanently banned for no reason on TikTok, other than I stand with Amber and I don't coddle people who willfully peddle in misinformation when it's clear after the unsealed documents. Like, if you still support a man who wants to have an underage sex cave where he can have sex with multiple underage girls, like, if you still believe that man couldn't possibly have abused a woman who is 23 years old and he was 49 when they met, like, at this point, videos about that subject are not about convincing people to believe in one side or the other, because at this point you've chosen your side. If you still believe Deb, or even if you were one of those people who believed him up until the unsealed documents, or up until the end of the trial, or up until the trial, like, no, I'm not entertaining that anymore. That no longer serves me, and that's not what those conversations are going to be about anymore. So for those of you who may have been avoiding the channel because you don't, because you're triggered by that subject, I can tell you that justifying ourselves to bullies and abusers is not going to be something you're going to see on this channel anymore. So you don't have to worry about that. The other thing that I want to make sure that everybody knows is not going anywhere on this channel is, I know a lot of the people who follow me on TikTok follow me because I don't care. Right? Like, I don't care. I don't coddle privilege. And I've gotten stuck in my head, and that's part of what's crippled my process and, affected my content, is caring what privileged people think. Like, I just got in a fight last night. Well, I don't know. He doesn't think it was a fight. I think it was a fight. I think it was not a good conversation because we're just not on the same page when it comes to the process of anti-racism work. And I just had to come to the conclusion that if it comes to needing to find community with people who are like-minded, it's gonna be easier for me to find people who are like-minded already, as opposed to trying to force the people in my life to change their minds. Like, and I know a lot of people see this as like letting the narcissist win, or letting the bully or the mean person or the wrong person or whatever is going on, letting that person who isn't correct, letting them win. But it isn't about them anymore, and it shouldn't have been about them in the first place. And I feel kind of silly for needing a TikTok to like open my eyes to that and like be like, hey, hello, because it really, no, it shouldn't have been so hard for me to realize, if my roommate isn't gonna take pride enough in the space that we share, that shouldn't affect whether or not I take pride in the space that we share. If I'm the only one who's doing the dishes, or, sweeping and mopping, scrubbing baseboards, doing deep cleaning, every season, like, if that's okay with him, then that's okay. Like, if not cleaning your house is something that is okay with you, then that's I can't do anything about that. And it's not making my house any cleaner. And the truth is, I actually like cleaning. Like, it's not a chore to me. I don't hate it. And the only reason that I complain about doing it is because other grown-ups shouldn't need to be told to help with the cleaning. Like, it should just be happening, whether you feel like it or not. Because even when I have my days where I'm, having a bad heart day and I feel like I'm gonna pass out, I will still do dishes. I will still try to do at least something that contributes to the household. And I just realized that the house will be cleaner and I will be saner if I just release anybody else from that expectation and just take care of it myself. Because the one thing that this video said, that she said repeatedly, was that you need to be the center of your own universe. And yeah, I do. And having a clean house is something that I want for me. So it's something I'm gonna do for me. And if people don't maintain, that's great, because it's not for them. It's not for them. It's not something I'm doing for them. It's not something I'm doing to impress anyone or to get anybody else to do anything. So, it makes sense to just stop complaining about other people not caring and just do it because I care, if that makes sense. And really, I wish that it hadn't taken a summer of depression to realize that this is like how I feel and this is what's going on in my head and whatever. Because I feel like that's a lot of, missed opportunities for content, and, now people are like, the conversation's moved on, but, that's part of what I'm hoping to rebuild also, is to get back to generating ideas and being able to stay on top of what's current. So I hope that you don't mind if I take a couple of trips back to stuff that is maybe no longer an issue, but I still think it needs to be talked about. So I'm hoping you'll stick around for that, but I really, being reminded that I started this channel for me because I wanted to learn how to edit videos and I wanted to be a YouTube content creator. Not because I wanted subscribers, but because being on YouTube is freaking fun. It's fun. Saying that I have a channel and calling myself a YouTuber, like, it's just a fun time that I would like to continue. That I would like to continue on with, regardless of who's subscribed or who follows me on social media. Because honestly, if even one person watches a video of mine and can relate, that's all that matters anyway. So, if you are a recent subscriber, I really appreciate you hanging in there. I will be going back to horror history and the ABCs of Fright. I have seen a couple of horror movies recently that I really want to talk about. I finally watched Fresh. What else did I watch? I finally saw 31. I will be talking about that because I feel like the only reason people have to criticize that movie is because people love to criticize Rob Zombie, and people love to criticize him for things that really the only reason you're criticizing it is because you don't understand it. And I see that so frequently with directors and writers and producers who have similar sensibilities about violence and about gore and about the language and et cetera, et cetera. All these things that make Rob Zombie a controversial figure. So I will be talking about that movie 100% as well. And a friend of mine has convinced me to possibly start writing reviews and posting them to, I forget the name of the app, but I'm thinking about getting back into writing reviews. My experience writing a review for Death Note, the Netflix Death Note, was absolutely abhorrent, and it was so bad that I swore I would never blog again. And really, I technically really never have since then, because the response to my critique of that movie was absolutely disgusting. Like, to be able to engage in every single ism, like the transphobia, the misogyny, the freaking homophobia, on top of the outright racist bullshit people were saying. There was an Asian actor who was up for the part of Light who didn't get the part because he was too Asian looking. They said, oh, we have no problem casting an Asian, but you look too Asian. So then they give the part to the very, very white Nat Wolf. Okay, that was the kind of sense that didn't make sense, and nobody liked what I had to say about that. Kind of similar to the way that people were reacting to my critique of Bakugo as a character in My Hero Academia. So those are the kinds of things we're going to be talking about coming up in the future. So I really appreciate if you have stayed subscribed this long. I really, now that I know what my block was and why it was, I can overcome it if it starts to come up again. So we're good to go, and I'm very excited for what we have in the future. So I hope you guys have a good afternoon, and I'll see you in the next episode.